Greetings and welcome. I'm Rebecca Carner, Biofield tuner, and today's video is definitely a biofield tuning, but in a lot of ways it's also just a transmission. A lot of my work has changed, as always, and the nature of it is, I would consider it, when I don't do private sessions with one individual, I would definitely consider this group work more of transmission and then a collective field tuning. And today's topic is we are technology. Wow, even just saying that. Let's drop into some sound. Arrive into your breath. We are the technology. Biofield tuning is a method, a modality, a methodology of calibrating with frequency and vibration a person or an animal's biological field. And so often in biofield tuning, we say that it's a wellness practice because if somebody is acutely ill, you don't really necessarily want to tune them or tune them too stridently because you don't want to give the body more to assimilate when it's already sort of at low ebb. And that being said, some people come in for tunings when they're feeling great and they either want to feel better, or they're feeling pretty good and they're just curious, or they're feeling good and they are coming in to sort of like a car get a tune up because it's a commemorative or a sort of milestone date. But often people come in because some part of their life, some part of their lived experience isn't going great and they can't quite figure out what to do, right? So they come in for a tuning to see what can be discovered. And in the wellness world and in the spiritual world, there's the sort of adage, you have everything you need. You know, all the answers are inside of you. You are your own teacher. Everything lies within. And that is true. That isn't poetry and it isn't metaphor. That is concretely a fact, Jack. Yeah, I felt some resistance in the field about that. And that doesn't mean you have to do it alone. And that doesn't mean like, you silly goose, why haven't you sorted it all out? That isn't the prompting. The prompting is, the reminder is that you are equipped, and what you are seeking, you can do, and you can get there, and you have the capacity, right? It's not that one should know all the answers. It's the reminder that one has the capacity to do whatever one is seeking within. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So this transmission is a reminder of that truth, so that whenever you find this video, whatever you're seeking, that you can do it, and you've got what you need within you to get you there eventually, right? And we get by with a little help from our friends, right? And our paid practitioners and our community and, nature and everything else, right? And like, whether it's Richard Rudd or Dr. David Clements or Pam Gregory or some of my sort of less internationally known colleagues, this refrain, "We are the technology, you are the technology," has really been just repeated lately, kind of in response to a lot of this swelling of AI capacity, right? Technologies and applications. And in a collective field that is embedded, encrypted, if you will, if you want to talk computer talk, with so much fear, um, this AI burgeoning, blossoming, has brought up a lot of fear in people about what it's going to do, what it's going to take from us. How are people going to use it? How is it going to use people? Right? And so, this concept of we are the technology, I really think it was best described recently by David Clements, who said, if you imagine a kitchen with 100,000 ingredients, all AI can do is remix and redistribute and recapitulate and, sort of whatever, reorganize those same ingredients. Only humans can bring through new ingredients. That is creativeness. That is creativity. That is generative spirit. And only we have that technology. Anything else can only reassemble in new ways. Now, it can be impressively quick. And if you take all the things that exist and can be put into something, and if you imagine all the, what is it like that 32-bit encrypted, right? All the different digits, all the different numbers and ways that can be reorganized, right? It's a lot, but it would have an end. We are infinite. Our capacities are infinite. And that cannot be replicated. That cannot be programmed into something concrete and finite. The infinite cannot be implanted into something with an end. An infinite vista cannot be contained by any fence line. That's how that goes. And this time right now, I am filming this in late October of the year of 2025. And, it's really, wow, I just got a tingle of excitement. Like, it's not an if, right? It's a when. When people see this later, they'll know how true this is, right? Because there are capacities being unlocked in us right now that, as we unpack them, as we embody them, as we live into those gifts, those capacities, those potentials, what I'm saying will make more sense, right? With just the straight tunings, I always say, because it is true, whenever you find them, that's exactly right. And that is the tuning, right? Those are the frequencies that one needed to hear. And they're sort of good ad infinitum. Um, and while that is true with this transmission, it is interesting to be projecting it out now, because the sort of truth of it will just unpack. It's like the greater than sign, like the little megaphone. Let's see if I can get it there. It's just gonna become more and more and more and more evident and true, right? There we go. There we go. Ha ha. We are the technology. We are infinite, eternal light being expressed through a body. Something that was developed in a concrete, materialistic world that can only rearrange material concepts will always come to an end. And we are made of different stuff than that. All right, let's see. Let's really, really ground into, because the other thing for any of you geophysicist geeks or sort of space weather inclined people, there was a massive coronal mass ejection from the sun yesterday, truly like a humdinger, friends. And how that affects all of the planets as well as Earth, and then because we live symbiotically with Earth, right? We not only ride this rock, but she hosts us, right? Mother Earth hosts us. And she is also kind of shifting and shimmying her way into more and more of her evolution, and I guess potential, but I think she's always potentiated to her maximum, and everything is shifting. Everything is evolving. And I mean, I don't even know if it's expanding. You hear that. The universe is always expanding. But infinity it can expand. It's infinity. Okay. Huh. Um, hmm. So it's always shifting and expressing in a new way. And so if that what hosts us is shifting, then we can't not but shift as well. Okay, breathe. Wow, yeah. It's like we were it's like we were all collectively kind of holding our breath to wait and feel the earth move under our feet, and look, with these coronal mass ejections, I guess tectonic movement is a thing. I think in Ecuador there was a sizable earthquake yesterday. So where some people are, the earth might be moving under their feet. And if that isn't you, then just breathe in. And if you imagine sort of igniting and sort of stoking a fire, or like an ember, if you've ever started a fire either from scratch or from not a whole lot of accelerant, when you get that little spark to blow on it, right? So if you imagine the in breath is sort of an internal, right, ignition and internal bellows of that light. Anything in the cloud, anything in the material world that is made by a human other than another human is made of the stuff of which we make it, right? But we are made of light. We are made of light and energy. And that cannot be replicated or duplicated. There is a reason, like we can artificially inseminate. And then if a baby comes really, really early, sometimes we can effectively incubate for a little while. But from inception all through gestation into arrival, like we can't make a viable human, because at some point, anything that becomes a viable human has to do a ride along in the second chakra of a live woman. It has to, because we are that. That can't be faked. Yeah. Yeah. So we are the technology, and then what we can do with that, how that expresses. It's only just begun. Like, we don't even know yet. We don't even know yet. It is full on, friends. We are about to drop the clutch, drop it into another gear, and go. We are about to find out what all that can look like, what some of that can begin to look like. Like, we are just at the beginning. Yeah. And so much of what's going down, right, both out there and granularly in a lot of people's lives, a lot of what is going down is because some of this density, some of these thought forms, some of this stuff has to come off, right? So stuff be going down because things have to be shed. Stuff has to come off for our light to express in new ways. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm going to bring our focus. That is enough conceptualizing. I'm going to bring our focus. I'd like, if you can close your eyes wherever you are. I hope you aren't listening to this driving. Really come into yourself. Close your eyes. And if you imagine the inside of you as space, right? As an infinite vessel, right? That Rumi quote, you're not a drop in the ocean, you're an ocean in a drop, right? So go inside the fractal expression of your droplet self, and realize that there is an infinite ocean. And relax into your magnitude. Relax into your expansive self to the best of your ability to conceptualize that right now. And imagine just a little point of light. A point of light that is your essence. That is your you-ness. And as you breathe, imagine that point of light growing in brightness, growing in reverberance, growing in radiance. You just have to imagine, just like the dawn, light days don't start like we turn on a light in a room. It is the smallest hint of light that somehow grows. You don't go from 4 a.m. to full sun, noon all in one, right? It is a growing, it's a burgeoning, a waxing and then a waning of the light. So imagine breathing into that point of light and having its luminosity tenderly and gently and just at the right drip rate grow inside you. Good. That is you. That light is your inner portrait. Really good. And breathe. And it doesn't have to get any brighter. Once it grows a little bit and you just think, okay, where do I go from here? Nowhere. Just be with that. Just be that. That is the technology. When you don't know your next best step in life, get quiet in life. When you aren't certain of your next best step, ask the light and then try that. In that way, the dawn never wonders if it can make it through the day. It can't not. And that is the same with us, but we forget that essential nature of ourselves. Yeah. Really good. You are the most perfect technology. In your wildest dream, you couldn't even begin to imagine what you are capable of, what is possible by you and by everything around you. This is what we are here to explore. This is why things are rattling now. It's like a dog that slipped down the river banks and got covered with mud, and it has to shake everything off so that it can run and frolic in the field. Like, that's us. Like, we're shaking off all these confines, y'all. And it's violent, and it's distracting. And if you are truly in the middle of it, do the best you can. Do whatever you can. And know that there are people loving and rooting for you all around the world and all through the galaxy. But if you are in a relatively safe and stable place in this world right now, go inside, connect with your inner light, connect with your higher self. And move from that. Yeah. Nice. Wonderful. Wow. Thanks for joining me today. Today's live was a little bit different. If you are looking for support on your technological upgrade, please visit RebeccaCarner.com and book a private session, or just reach out if you need support or if you just need community, somebody who's speaking your language. All my best. Thank you. I hope this helps. There will be more. Until the next time. Bye.